All right, let's talk about 19E, Standard 19 Substandard E. Describe the Manhattan Project and at Los Alamos and the scientific, economic, and military implications of developing the atomic bomb. Okay, so the focus here is on the Manhattan Project. And the Manhattan Project was a secret project to develop the atomic bomb that was eventually used on Japan to end the war in the Pacific. The Manhattan Project is the element. The theme is domestic impact of World War II, conflict, and compromise. All right, Los Alamos, New Mexico, where these atomic bombs were detonated first in the United States, out here in the desert in New Mexico. The explosion there even surprised the scientists when it first was successful. So they split the atom and caused an atomic reaction, and the atomic bomb technology was developed, and it's going to be used later. But right here in Los Alamos, New Mexico, this scientific secret laboratory was where the atomic bomb was made. That's the location. So don't forget, Los Alamos, New Mexico is where the atomic bomb was made. That's where, in these different locations, where the Manhattan Project took place. But it's here in Los Alamos where the first one was detonated successfully. Alright, here's a front gate to the Los Alamos Project to get in. Alright, so the American government had developed the atomic bomb in a secret laboratory in Los Alamos, New Mexico, and it was called the Manhattan Project. Extremely important to know that. To end the war in the Pacific, VE Day, to fall of Berlin, ended it in Europe. But in the other theater, Pacific, it drew out a little bit longer. So President Harry Truman found out we had this atomic weapon, and he tries to use it to negotiate with Japan, but they won't surrender. So President Truman made a decision to drop the atomic bomb that was made in Los Alamos, to drop it on Japan to get it to surrender. Now, the reason he gave for dropping the atomic bomb was to save American lives. There it is right there. So he said he dropped the atomic bomb. The reason why he did it was to save American lives. Now, he gets a lot of flack from this later on by historians and people alike, that he shouldn't have done that. But he opens up these worms in the Cold War when Soviet Union gets their atomic weapons, and we have this big situation happen. There's going to be entire next units on the Cold War after World War II. But to save American lives, and how was he going to save American lives? He said he was going to save American lives by ending the war quickly and preventing or avoiding an invasion of Japan. He felt that if the United States invaded Japan, a lot of American lives would be lost. And he, as President of the United States, had to preserve American lives. So in order to save American lives, he drops the atomic bomb on the Japanese to bring the war to an end quickly and to avoid an invasion of Japan and further loss of American lives. So the two locations he drops the atomic bomb, President Harry Truman, he's president because Franklin Delano Roosevelt died in his fourth term of office within the first month of this fourth term. And so President Harry Truman was Vice President of the United States. He becomes President of the United States, and he makes this big decision to make. So he drops them on Hiroshima and Nagasaki here in early August 1945, and let's see, on September 2nd, 1945, the Japanese surrendered. He dropped one first. Let's see, I think it was Hiroshima first, and then they didn't give up, and he waited 3 days, and he dropped Nagasaki, the bomb there. And after that, the Japanese surrendered, and that brought World War II to a complete end. It ended in the Pacific theater. And again, President Truman said he dropped them to save American lives, and the way he said he could save American lives, end the war quickly by avoiding invasion of Japan. Now, the two bombs that were dropped were Fat Man, this atomic bomb here, and Little Boy, this one here, were the two dropped. This was the ship the plane that dropped them was the Enola Gay, and this is the pilot here that flew the Enola Gay and dropped these bombs. Alright, so our standards said we need to talk about the Manhattan Project. We did that at Los Alamos, New Mexico. They wanted you to know where it was, so we did that. But it says, in the scientific, economic, and military implications of developing the atomic bomb. So let's look at those military implications. Now the United States has nuclear energy as a source, energy source. It's going to be used to power aircraft carriers and submarines later on. The use of it's going to be used for those. It's also going to give the United States a powerful weapon to use in the future. Unfortunately, the Soviet Union gets the same information, develops its own atomic program, and creates its own atomic bombs. And in that's going to create a military and political disaster. During the Cold War, for a long period of time, we're involved in the Cold War and containment foreign policy. And that's the next unit. So those are military implications. Scientific is that nuclear power is also used for electricity in our homes and businesses. If we go across the Chattahoochee River going toward Dothan, the Farley nuclear plant is over in that area, and it provides a lot of electricity for this area. Also, new technologies in medicine like the positron emission tomography, or the PET scans, are going to use nuclear energy, and some other ones that I probably don't even know about. They're going to measure brain functions and things in the body, be able to look into the body. So those are scientific and medical uses. Economically, you can see where the sale of these would be beneficial, electricity and all these technologies. And with that, I'm going to bring that to an end. I think we've met our objective, describe the Manhattan Project at Los Alamos, New Mexico, and the scientific, economic, and military implications of developing the atomic bomb. If you have any further questions, ask me in class. Good luck on the quiz, the test, and the EOCT.